Welcome to today's Explainer. We've got a really fascinating case study to unpack together today. We're going to be looking at a deeply personal testimonial straight from a student over at Dance Chicago. Now, right off the bat, you might be thinking, okay, a story about someone learning to ballroom dance, what's in it for me? But as we peel back the layers of this specific success story, we're actually going to reveal the hidden, universal benefits of physical discipline. We're talking about how mastering a structured physical activity acts as this incredible blueprint for rewiring your brain, optimizing your academic or professional life, and literally transforming your whole self-image.
Okay, let's dive into this, because the students' own words just perfectly set the stage for our journey today. You see, they originally signed up for dance just to stay busy after school. It was just meant to be a simple extracurricular. But I really want you to look closely at these words, how I showed up every day, and in my own mind. We are not just talking about learning a waltz or a tango here, folks. We are talking about a total mindset transformation. The whole foundation for a massive turnaround in this student's life? Well, it started on the dance floor, but it absolutely didn't end there.
Section 1. The Humbling Beginnings.
So, any journey of growth starts with a pretty steep and, let's be honest, often super uncomfortable learning curve. And this student's story is just wonderfully honest about that initial struggle. The reality of starting out for them was, well, it was rough. They totally admit to struggling with consistency, missing practice sessions, and feeling discouraged incredibly quickly. Because learning choreography, it is humbling. When you're out there on the floor trying to figure out your timing, your balance, and just basic physical coordination, there's nowhere to hide. The student actually felt intense embarrassment over making mistakes, and yeah, they nearly quit more than once. And I want you to mirror this against your own life for a second. Think about it. Those feelings of wanting to just walk away, of feeling completely out of your depth, those are universal hurdles. We all face them when we tackle a new skill. It's just the friction of being a true beginner.
Section 2. Confidence through repetition.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is we hit the crucial turning point in the student's journey. And what's incredibly powerful is just how simple this framework actually is. The student realized that progress in dance, it isn't instant. It's earned. Week by week, they started seeing these small, undeniable improvements. Cleaner moves, better physical control, fewer of those mental blank spots during routines. Those physical wins proved that their effort was actually paying off. But the sheer brilliance here is that they took this exact 4-step physical methodology, literally just show up, try again, adjust, and repeat, and they turned it into a rock-solid strategy for academic studying. Suddenly, they had this algorithm for getting better at pretty much anything.
So let's explicitly contrast this. The crucial point here is how this physical discipline directly rewired their whole approach to school. Before this, their mindset was kind of just waiting around to suddenly feel, motivated to study. But once they understood how practice works in the studio, the whole shebang changed. They started treating study sessions with the exact same focus as a dance assignment. Instead of waiting for lightning to strike or motivation to magically appear, they just started working in short, focused bursts. They embraced being a beginner rather than needing to be perfect right out of the gate. They planned their practice. They realized that action precedes motivation, not the other way around.
Section 3. Structure and Stress Relief. As the student got deeper into their training, the strict demands of rehearsals inadvertently created this really powerful boundary against everyday chaos. Getting ready for performances met hard deadlines. It gave them a tangible, real-world reason to stay organized. And so, they developed this clean, simple routine. First, review goals. Second, break tasks down into manageable steps. And third, track what was completed. This is basically Project Management 101, right? But they learned it entirely through the necessity of stage rehearsals. And the really amazing thing noted in the source material is that even on those days when the student's energy was just absolutely tanked after a long day, relying on this exact structured plan is what kept them moving forward. It provided absolutely crucial structure for their schedule.
But it wasn't just about getting things done. There was this massive, totally unexpected psychological benefit too. Dance literally became a mental reset. After a crazy stressful day at school, stepping into that studio forced a student to just switch their brain away from all the worrying and channel 100% of their concentration into counts, movement, and rhythm. And why does this matter to you and me? Well, because this intense physical reset resulted in the students showing up so much calmer in the classroom the next day. They finally had a dedicated space to process their stress, which made them way more patient with themselves when academic stuff got tough.
Section 4. Finding your community.
Now, personal transformation rarely ever happens in a vacuum, and the social environment of the dance studio played a massive role here. Listen to this quote. "I stopped waiting to be perfect before speaking up. Dance reminded me that being a beginner is part of the process, not a permanent status. Man, that is powerful. By training alongside peers who were also stumbling and learning, the student realized they definitely weren't alone. They were getting honest feedback and huge encouragement from their coaches. And here is the beautiful translation to everyday life. Because they got comfortable taking up physical space on the dance floor, they actually started taking up space in their life. That new confidence mattered immensely during group projects and class discussions. Plus, when they did miss a practice, the community didn't judge them for it, they just supported them right back into the rhythm.
Section 5. Planning with Intention. This brings us right to the culmination of all these layered lessons. The student evolves from just merely surviving their day-to-day schedule to intentionally architecting their own future. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what happens when you build a rock-solid foundation of discipline. Over time, mastering that choreography evolved into thinking way, way beyond what could just be accomplished today. The student started focusing really heavily on who they wanted to become. We're talking setting much higher academic targets, actively applying for new opportunities they previously would have totally shrunk away from, and even considering leadership roles within their dance group. They began to plan their life with deliberate, clear intention, entirely fueled by the focus they built in the studio.
If there is one ultimate takeaway from this entire Dance Chicago success story, it's summarized perfectly in this core realization right here. Looking back, the student realized the biggest change wasn't actually their dance technique. It was understanding that growth is measurable. Discipline is something you can literally practice, just like a muscle. And confidence? Well, confidence isn't some magical trait you're just born with. It is built, brick by brick, through pure consistency. Dance gave the student a path forward, a real methodology for success that they are now carrying into literally every single aspect of their life.
So, I want to leave you with a question to really chew on today. We've just walked through this incredible blueprint of how structured physical discipline cascades into every area of your life. Academics, stress management, self-confidence, the whole 9 yards. So what discipline do you need to step into to spark your own transformation? Maybe it's dance, maybe it's martial arts, maybe it's hitting the pavement for a run. Whatever it is, always remember that being a beginner is just a phase. It is absolutely not a permanent status. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today. I highly encourage you to go out, find your own practice, show up, and start building that consistency.